The Detroit News by Orlando Brand Williams and Holly Fournier. The Detroit News. This happened December 4, 2015. The man who had the Pitbulls was arraigned today. So here's a story 4 days ago. Lucille Strickland says she has been constantly reliving in her mind the sight of her 4-year-old son being mauled by 4 pit bulls Wednesday. They pulled him from me and they dragged him under the fence. They just ate him. Said Strickland, a 33-year-old wife and mother of 7, breaking down in tears. Strickland was walking with her 4-year-old son Xavier to nearby Thurgood Marshall School when 4 pit bulls charged from the back of a home in the 15,500 block of Bayless around 12:25 p.m. Wednesday. They attacked her child as she tried to fight them off. The dogs attacked Strickland too, biting her in the back and the legs as she tried to protect Xavier, a little boy, small for his age. I fell on top of him, Strickland said Thursday, explaining how she tried to protect her little boy. I had him under my arms. When police arrived in the neighborhood near the Lodge Freeway in Linwood, they fatally shot 3 of the dogs. The 4th was captured, eventually euthanized. Xavier was taken to Henry Ford Hospital where he died despite doctors' efforts to save him. These dogs were constantly tormenting people, Lucille Strickland said. Clarence Strickland said that he sometimes walked by the home on the way to his railroad job. He said everyone was afraid of the dogs in the neighborhood. The lawsuit states that Xavier's mother was permanently injured trying to save her son's life. This case should be a wake-up call for our community. Bernstein said we get calls every day at our office about injuries caused by dogs with dangerous owners, but this affects our region more profoundly. It's the death of a child, and it's time to address this problem in a very serious way. The death of a child, I don't know how it's... The new details emerged Monday about the attack. Bernstein showed a map of the area where the attack took place, saying the dog crossed the Bayless to where the mother and son were walking to avoid the home where the dogs lived. The dog dragged Xavier at least 30 feet away to their yard where his small body was snatched under a fence by one of the other dogs. So it's like one of them is loose, one of them's out of the yard, grabs the kid as they're crossing the street away from the dogs, and they drag him into the yard, and then the other dog grabs his body, and now, all these pit bulls are on top of Xavier Strickland, just devouring their kill. And then his mother, jumps on top and tries to save him. Cops are called, but it's too late. And, it's fucked up, actually, with people and their dogs. The way people have their dogs, it's almost like people care more about animals than they do people. I understand. A lot of times you'll have cops that, go into people's buildings and they shoot the dogs immediately. That was what Anonymous, Kentucky Anonymous, he said when he got busted, don't shoot my dogs. I remember living right next door to a family in Louisville on 32nd Street, and they had dogs that would bark at me every time I walked out the door, every time I walked in, anytime I would go to mow the lawn. It was terrorizing. It was fucking bullshit. You got a dog. Just think about their mentality. They're going, ruff, 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 ruff. What are they saying? They're barking at you, and it's like, oh, why do you want to read the mind of a dog? Well, in their mind, they're a predator, and so in their mind, it's a threat. They're ruff, ruff. I want to hurt you. I want to do something bad to you. And the homeowners just let it happen. They wouldn't accept that type of disrespect to them, but it's not only disrespectful, but it's, what they're saying. They're dogs, they're animals. They want to hurt, and so if they had the opportunity, they would hurt you. They would bite you. They would maul you. They would do some damage. Yeah, there are nice pets if they're trained properly, but if the neighbors don't give a shit, I also remember in Louisville, there was a guy that lived below me, and he would just let his dog bark at anybody walking past. If you just walk past the yard, the dog was just yapping, 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 and at no point did the owner think that I should shut it up, let me shut it up. And so when I would walk past it, I would say, hey, you need to knock it off. And then the owner comes out and was like looking at me like there was something wrong with me. You're the one letting your fucking dog bark at every goddamn fucking person in the neighborhood. And I'm just, if you don't allow me to teach it to respect people, then I blame you. Why do I got to shut your dog up? Don't you understand that how do you not know that? How do you not know that that is rude and disrespectful? And it's basically a threat. It's a veiled threat, but the dog's 41-year-old Janecki Lyons. He's charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and possessing dangerous dogs causing death. Magistrate in the 36th District Court returned him to jail without bond Monday over the objection of the defense attorney. it's Hitler-esque, okay? Hitler didn't mind throwing Jewish people into the ovens, but supposedly he was good with animal rights. If you care more about animals than humans, we got to start loving each other. We got to start caring about each other first. It's fucked up. But it just goes to the show. It seems like we love animals more than we love each other. And humans can be one of the worst predators out here. You know, I don't know what's going to happen to him. I don't know. But the Father wants to see him feel the same pain. You know, I can't think of a worse death, you know, being on fire or drowning or being crushed, being ripped to shreds by dogs. You know, I don't know if you saw Django, but that happened in Django, and it was intentionally done. Go get that guy. And they just ate him. And so I understand where the Father is coming from, and eye for an eye, this guy might deserve death. So this is I don't know, just it's a fucked up situation. Just R.I.P. Xavier Strickland. Little 4-year-old didn't deserve going to school, walking to school and got ate up by a bunch of pit bulls. You know, they're predators. What the fuck, you know? And you could train them, right? You're the one that trains them to be mean, to be shitty, and you're the one that watches over them as they bark anybody that walks by. No, if they come in your yard, okay, you can be a guard dog, but don't be fucking barking at anybody that's